Hello and welcome to Sea Gunzels. I am Woodrow, and today I'm going to be doing my first impressions and review of the brand new standard gauge VLocity trains on the Albury line. As you can see right now, I am at Wodonga Station. There's a station sign down there that you can't see, so I can't really prove that I'm at Wodonga, but obviously I am at Wodonga. And yeah, in about 10-ish minutes time, just over 10 minutes, the new standard gauge VLocity will be here. This will be my first ride on the brand new train, and I'm excited to review it, so yeah, I hope you enjoy. As you can see up there, there is the time, and then there's also the details of the train that I'm going to catch, but you can't really see it because that's just how cameras work. But you can see the time clearly, you just can't see the train details, but I did get a photo of it, which I'll put on screen now.
Platform is your 529 service Southern Cross. Please remain behind the yellow line until the train has come to a stop on arrival. Once again, I remind you, please watch the step between the platform and the train, as it is a new train and the step is a little bit further. The booked cars are the rear two, car D on the rear, car C second from the rear. All other cars are non-reserved. If you're not travelling, please not board the train. Please QR code on board the service once you're boarded, and if you're not travelling, please do not board the train, and you are reminded to wear correctly fitting face masks at all times on public transport. Thank you.
And approaching in the distance is the Northeast brand new VLocity trains. Leading today's VLocity set is VL94. Which means trailing will be VL93, or VS93 I should say. The standard gauge velocities are VS, not VL. Let's get on and have a look. We are now departing Wodonga. Just a quick note while I have the chance to do so. I didn't realise this while booking, because the booking website that these seats were supposed to be facing the front, but they are not, they are actually reversed. So just to note that everything might be a bit reversed. Before I continue with anything else on this service, I'm going to start off with a seat review. So as you can see, they are quite similar to just regular VLocity seats. If I go forward, you can see that on all of the aisle seats there is a grab rail. I'm not sure if this train will ever get so busy that you'll need to have people standing, but who knows? Especially since this is the reserve seating section. So, but you never know. Back down on the actual seat, you can see it has the purple PTV livery, I guess. And you can see my phone here and my charger on this quite sturdy tray table. It's actually pretty good. Will really come in handy when the buffet is open. It's pretty much the same as the regular VLocity tray tables, that being sets VL75 to 0. I said 75 first, I'm sorry. But yeah, it's basically the same as that tray table. And as you can see, I have my phone and charger here to show off this, the brand new USB charging that's been introduced. So as you can see, I have my charger. I'm going to plug, is that the wrong way around? My bad. So that is now plugged in, and I should now, with some assistance, plug that into there, and as you can hopefully see, you can see that my phone is now charging. So yeah, that is the brand new USB charging, and in a moment, once I packed all this up, I'll show you the legroom. on this train and show you some other features of the seat. Right, now it's time to show off the legroom. And what's up down here, not much actually. But I wouldn't consider myself the tallest person in the world, but I am decently sized. And I've got plenty of legroom. I can stretch my legs completely out. Yeah, and also my legs look redder on camera than they actually are. I'm not sunburned, I don't think anyway. Yeah, and also down here you can see the floor pattern, pretty basic. And also once again the wall pattern, also pretty basic. Also over here we have SCT Logistics final offer. So we're just passing that now, which is kind of interesting. When I was passing here on the coach this morning from Seymour up to Wodonga, there was actually a freight train. Looks like it's still there. There's even a T-class there actually. So it hasn't left yet, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, there's a freight train here, kind of just waiting to go here at SCT Logistics final offer. Passing by on the brand new VLocity train. And there are the locomotives. 3 EL classes from Rail First. Yeah, that was SCT Logistics final offer. Next station is Chiltern. Also up there, that tiny little black box, that's meant to be a PID that tells you all the next station information. But it doesn't appear to be working on this journey for some reason. Don't know why, but it isn't. And I forgot if it was this set or VS94, but one of the sets and not the other for some reason has automated next station announcements. The conductor doesn't do them. They're actually automated and pre-recorded. But I forgot if it was VS93 or VS94. We're in VS93, so I don't know if we'll get it.
You step from the train. And please be mindful of the gap between the train and the platform before you step from the train. Thank you. Chiltern, this stop.
So we're now arriving into Chiltern, as you just heard. This isn't the automated announcements one. Maybe it's VS94 that has automated announcements. But we are now at Chiltern on a standard gauge VLocity. Now departing Chiltern. Station will be Springhurst. Just two other things that I forgot in my seat review. I forgot to show you how seats have decent amount of padding. Well, not decent, it's actually quite a good amount of padding and it's really comfortable. And also second, there are armrests. There's one just there, and there's also one that goes in between the seats. Just once again, compared to the old N classes, these trains are in a 2-2 configuration in all carriages, unlike the N classes where it was 3-2 in economy and 2-2 in first class. So to be honest, this is actually even sort of like all seats on this train are sort of like upgraded to first class than what they were before. So pretty nice job by Velo for making this interior look quite good actually. Really impressed with what they've been able to do on this train.
Next stop, thank you.
Now arriving into Springhurst. Springhurst you do go a bit higher than the other tracks. There's the foot crossing down there that turns into an underpass. And here we are, now arriving into Springhurst. Very interesting approach into the platforms. But yeah, we are now at Springhurst on the standard gauge VLocity. Now departing Springhurst. Very soon, not right now, but soon I will do a walkthrough of the train, but it might be kind of limited because I don't want to get other passengers' faces in the way. But I'll try my best to show you as much as I can and give you at least an idea of what these new trains are like. Okay, it's time for a walkthrough of the new standard gauge VLocity. The seats on these new trains do not rotate like the ones on the M class. So as you can see, there's a point about halfway through the carriage where they change direction. I've already shown you what's back there. Going forward, so you can see what we have. And you can see here that just in here is where the toilet is. It looks like quite a spacious toilet, but due to the fact that I don't show my face and that there's usually mirrors in bathrooms, I unfortunately won't show you the inside. Funny enough, they already have buffet stickers on the train, even though the buffet isn't open yet. But obviously they're just future-proofing that. These are the doors. They're pretty much the standard VLocity doors, not much to say there. There are no doors to separate the carriages, instead you have open gangways, so just going to quickly step across there. There are quite large luggage racks on the train in order to counter the fact that there is no checked luggage on VLocity services. So there are quite large luggage racks to take care of that problem. I'm trying to keep my balance. Orange priority seating for disabled people. Here we have a table seat with seats facing each other. The seats here, the tables here, actually extend out like this instead of having the flip down tables on the backs of seats. Just put that back. There's another one there. I'm walking through the train, trying not to show other passengers' faces. We have, this is where the new buffet and cafe bar will be. As you can see, the sign saying that's coming soon. So you can sort of see the cutouts where the windows will be. Also grab rails here. To grab on while you're walking throughout the buffet car. Coming over here we have some fold down seats. That's loud. Quite good. Not as comfy as the regular seats, but I guess the train gets quite full. I'll put the seat back up. Once again, trying not to show other passengers' faces. Walking through, we have other luggage racks. Walking across into the last carriage, we have the accessible toilet, and the water fountain, which has its own cups. Surprisingly enough, let me just... Water fountain on the train. And we are also now in the unreserved section of the train. More luggage racks and orange fold down seats for disabled. I just noticed that the head at the back kind of folds out as well. Here we have more of those other table seats that fold out like this. That's loud. But apart from that, it's mostly just the same on from here, and then it goes into VS94, which obviously I cannot access. So yeah, that is the best walkthrough I can do at the moment of the brand new standard gauge VLocity. Also forgot to showcase that there is a bin also here underneath these luggage racks here. I also just noticed that the gap in between the seats is also being advertised as a double up luggage space if you have extra luggage, which is interesting. So I'm just ignoring the fact that this is the reserved seating carriage. Just decided to move forward because I can't stand moving, seeing 4 hours backwards, so decided to move forward. As you can see, we're crossing a creek here, and this is kind of the regular scenery that you sort of get on your way at least up to that Craigieburn. It looks pretty much a lot like this, but it is quite nice. And our next station is Wangaratta. Also, there are some luggage racks that look a little bit like this, where there's fire extinguishers and more bins. So if you are at Southern Cross and you eat Hungry Jack's and then you need somewhere to throw out your rubbish because there's no bins at Southern Cross Station, story of this morning for me, then yeah, there's definitely bins on the train that can assist you with throwing out your rubbish.
Well, some places show you take the first on the longest with you. Mind the gap when you leave the train. So mind the gap the normal between the train and the platform. Wangaratta is our next stop, thank you.
As the announcement just said, we are about to arrive into Wangaratta. Unfortunately, I am on the wrong side to see Wangaratta station itself, but that's not a big deal. It's fine. So yeah. Now arriving to Wangaratta. Well, I mean, even though you're not facing platforms, you still got quite a bit. You can even see this old siding here as well, which is kind of cool. And the old goods platform by the looks. And whole goods shed as well, in this tower. So even if you're not facing the platform at Wangaratta, you still get quite a lot. Presume it's also going to be a similar story at Benalla, next station. Now departing Wangaratta on the standard gauge VLocity, of course. I'm probably going to say that after every station, even though I really don't have to. I wonder if this track is still up around, probably not. Footbridge over there. Next station will be Benalla.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform when you leave. Now our next stop, thank you.
As you just heard on the announcement, we are now approaching our next station of Benalla. We have this train line that's coming from up there that's joining. I actually don't know what that is, so if anyone does know what that is, please tell me, because surprisingly enough, I don't know. Looks like the track's still in working order, but I don't know how often it's used. But yeah, now arriving into Benalla on a standard gauge VLocity. We are now now departing Vanilla after sitting here for a little bit of time, as this is the first set in service and it's only been in service for only a few weeks. The timetable is still the slower N-class timetable, as N-classes run slower than these new trains, which is one of the reasons why they're getting new trains in the first place. Which means until they introduce a new timetable, I believe on the 31st of January. Yeah. I can't confirm the 31st of January, but I've heard a few things saying 31st. So that might be true. But whenever they release the new timetable, hopefully there shouldn't be as long of a wait time. And hopefully trips will be quicker on these new trains. Part of the reason why they're getting them.
Train directional travel. Passengers leave the train, please. Mind the gap as you leave the train. Violet Town, the next stop, thank you.
Okay, Violet Town. We are now arriving into Violet Town. Hopefully we'll be able to see it through the platforms. No, unfortunately you can't. I know you can kind of see it over there. Southern Aurora Memorial Gardens. There was a crash that involved Southern Aurora there. You can see the end of the carriage just over there. But the Southern Aurora had a crash here, so they built a Memorial Gardens over there with one of the old Southern Aurora sleeping carriages. So if you're coming to Violet Town, then Southern Aurora Memorial Gardens over there might be somewhere that you might be interested in going. Anyway, we are now departing Violet Town on the standard gauge VLocity. I think I just heard the doors close, so hopefully we are about to depart. So, any second now, we should be departing. Okay, now we should be departing. The reason why we weren't departing before is that apparently the door malfunctioned on the train just in front of where we were. So yeah, these trains, as I've stated before, they've only been out in the wild for a few weeks, not that long, so they may still have a few problems, but hopefully they'll be fixed in the future. Anyway, we've just left Violet Town. I believe our next station is Euroa. As the announcement just said, we are now arriving into Euroa. Here is the platform. Quite an isolated platform from the rest of the station. Yeah, over on the other side is the actual city centre on the other side of the train. Can't see it from here, but yeah. Euroa in the standard gauge VLocity. Now departing Euroa in the standard gauge VLocity. Next station, I believe, after Euroa, I don't think, it might be Avenel. I've kind of forgotten. But I feel like there's one more before Avenel. So it's either Avenel or the station before Avenel. That's the next station by somehow. Yeah. We'll see.
Avenel station is our next stop, thank you.
If I didn't catch all of the announcement, I was correct. Our next station is Avenel on the standard gauge VLocity. Here we are arriving into Avenel now. meaning that the next station after this will be Seymour. Now departing Avenel on the standard gauge velocity. Next station, as stated before, is Seymour. That is the Shepparton line we are now joining up with, and now it's just all three lines from here down into Seymour before the standard gauge line splits again, I believe. So I'll just film a little bit of the scenery. We appear to be slowing down. I don't know why we are slowing down, but we are, so hopefully we seem to be speeding back up again. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. We're speeding back up again, good. That's definitely something good news. Yeah, I'll see you at Seymour then. Okay, so the announcement hasn't played yet, but I think I can see Seymour Station approaching in the distance. So, I think we're nearly there. Unfortunately, I am...
Passengers leaving the train, please ensure you take your personal belongings with you. Always look to see there's a platform in front of you before you step from the train. Also, please mind the gap between the train and the platform. Seymour Station now next stop, thank you.
Okay, so there is actually some sprinters in platform 2 just there. Unfortunately, I was on the wrong side for the Seymour Railway Heritage Centre. Oh no, we can't see the sprinters now. I was on the wrong side for the Seymour Railway Heritage Centre, but here is the platform at Seymour. And then now the Mikey ticketed zone begins. Okay, now departing Seymour on the standard gauge velocity. I'm thinking I should maybe start calling it the long haul velocity, because even though it is on standard gauge, there's a likely chance that this train will be put onto other long haul routes as well, like Swan Hill, Bairnsdale, although velocities have been running on Bairnsdale for a little bit, just the regular velocities have been running on Bairnsdale. So Bairnsdale might get some of these, Warrnambool, and basically lots more long haul routes. Shepparton, other long haul routes might get similar trains to these, but in broad gauge. But Albury is the first to get a long haul a VLocity set that is modified for long haul services. So good job, Albury. And there should be 4 more free car sets on their way. These are only the first 2, as I've previously stated earlier in the video. So yeah, I'm gonna keep calling it the standard gauge VLocity for now, but very soon these might just be called long haul VLocities, because they'll take over all of the still locomotive hauled trains. So yep, just departed Seymour on the standard gauge VLocity. The next station will be Broad Meadows, for dropping off passengers only, not picking them up, because that's how V-Line works, basically. Yep, Broad Meadows next station. I don't know if I've mentioned this already, but there are overhead luggage racks to store your luggage. If you don't want to store them in the luggage racks near the doors, if you want to keep an eye on your luggage, and it's small enough to fit overhead, then there are overhead racks. And we are actually passing, we just passed Tullarook, I believe, or whatever the station is before Seymour, on the regular Seymour services. I believe Tullarook. Whatever that is, we just passed it. And we are also, by the looks, maybe about to split away from the Shepparton and Seymour lines here to go down the standard gauge tracks, because as said, the standard gauge tracks are different from the broad gauge tracks. Broad gauge is used throughout most of Victoria's railways. Standard gauge is used for some of them, for some passenger trains like the Overland and the Great Southern, and obviously the XPT, and also this Albury V-Line service as well. But most of Victoria uses the broad gauge tracks, which are the 2 tracks here furthest away from the camera, and even possibly that track as well. But yeah, looks like our tracks are about to turn away from the broad gauge tracks, possibly in just a second. I'm not completely sure. When this specific clip hits 2 minutes, I'll stop recording, which is right about now. That is Broadford Station right there. Now passing through Broadford Station. There should be, at some point, we should turn away from the line before Craigieburn. Actually, I think it should be pretty soon, because we should do it before Heathcote Junction, because I don't think the standard gauge track goes near Heathcote Junction. So yeah, we'll have to see when the train and the standard gauge track turns off, and it rejoins near Broad Meadows, because obviously it needs to stop at Broad Meadows. It goes past Craigieburn, so I think it rejoins just before Craigieburn. So yeah, see when the track turns off. Oh look, there's an N-Class there with H carriages, and that station there, I forgot what it is, but there is an N set with H carriages there. H carriages, if you didn't know, are made from the old Harris suburban trains. The ones that are used on the Albury line aren't H carriages. I have a feeling that N-Class might have actually been going up to Seymour, but I think sometimes they do use H carriages on Shepparton trains, but I don't think Shepparton trains stop at those stations along the line. So that might have been an N-Class going up to Seymour, which is kind of interesting, and it also looks like we are starting to separate from the broad gauge line now and go off onto the standard gauge line that goes past, that skips Heathcote Junction and stuff. Maybe not, maybe it's just slightly separated for just that little bit of nature. Yeah. Yeah, that was an N-Class with H carriages, I guess. Okay, I thought we were about to turn off there. If there isn't actually a turn off and we follow the line all the way down to Craigieburn, I probably look really silly at the moment. But I'm pretty sure that the standard gauge line at some point goes off on its own away from the broad gauge line. But I could be wrong. At this point I feel like if there was a turn off we would have turned off by now. I know that there are a few stations that are on the broad gauge line that are next to the standard gauge line, and we've already passed 2 of those, but I thought the turn off may have been sooner, but it looks like I might be wrong. There might not even be a turn off at all, but I don't know. I thought there was, but there might not be. Okay, looks like a bit of a gap has formed, so maybe this is the point where we turn off from the broad gauge line. There's Heathcote Junction. That's interesting. I thought for some reason Heathcote Junction was on a completely different line from the standard gauge line, but I didn't know that the standard gauge line went that close behind Heathcote Junction. So maybe I was slightly wrong. Maybe there isn't a turn off at all, and we actually follow the broad gauge line all the way, which is interesting. I didn't know that. I thought that there was because of the standard gauge thing, that had to go around a different way from the broad gauge line. And it looks like there's also a freight train coming as well, a QB freight train. I don't think I got best focus on the locomotive, unfortunately, but that's a cool thing to see, I guess. But yeah, maybe I was slightly wrong, and there is actually no turn off for the standard gauge line. I thought that since it was standard gauge it would have to go around a different way, but maybe not. Okay, we have stopped. There is this station over there. I forgot what it is called. Again, I'm not familiar with the stations in between Southern Cross and Seymour, so I have forgotten what that might actually be. Wallen, possibly. I'm not 100% sure. So sorry that I can't remember them off by memory. There are quite a lot of stations in Victoria, so yeah, but we have stopped. And this could be that dangerous piece of track that the XPT derailed on back in 2020. They might have not repaired it yet, so trains have to go slow, but who knows. But we have stopped. Okay, there was just an announcement saying that the reason why we are stopped here is that we are waiting for another train to pass. So I'll have my camera ready and hopefully I can get it for you. The time is 8:26. So there is a slight chance that could be the XPT. I think that might actually depart at 8 o'clock, so maybe not, but it could be the XPT that we're waiting on. Melbourne to Sydney XPT. But who knows, I'll see you when the train passes. There's some sprinters over there going from Seymour to Southern Cross. Unfortunately, we are still stuck here, waiting for the train to come by, possibly the XPT. But who knows? I don't know how long we will be sitting here, waiting for this train to come past. Yeah, I'll keep you updated. Okay, still stuck here. The conductor said that hopefully it won't be too much longer until the train passes through. Hopefully it passes through soon, so then we can go back to Southern Cross and then, you know, go back, just be back in Melbourne basically. Hopefully we can get back to Southern Cross soon, and hopefully this train passes through soon. And at this point I'm pretty sure it's the XPT. Over there is a VLocity, probably going to Seymour. That's definitely not the train that we're waiting on, but it's a train. It's not the right train. Yeah. Still not sure where our train is. Just like that, the XPT has finally passed through, and hopefully that means the train is finally about to continue its journey to Southern Cross, so I'll see you when the train starts moving again. And finally, after who knows how long of waiting, we're finally on the move again. We're finally moving. It's almost 9 o'clock. We're meant to be at Southern Cross in 45 minutes. That's not happening. But we are. It's good to know that we are finally moving. And hopefully we'll be somewhere soon. And now we are passing Donnybrook. Very soon we'll pass Craigieburn, Roxborough Park, all those stations, and get to Broadmeadows. And after Broadmeadows we'll hopefully be able to take the line around, yeah, back to Southern Cross. And I can go home, finally. If it wasn't for that delay back there where I was stuck there for like more than half an hour, we might have actually been back at Southern Cross by now, possibly. Yeah, but yeah, Broadmeadows next station. Okay, just over there where all those lights are is Craigieburn Metro Depot. So yeah, that means we are getting closer. You can see all the Commengers stored in Craigieburn Metro Depot. We're going to go right past Craigieburn Station on the standard gauge track, on the fast standard gauge track. Here's Craigieburn Station right here actually. Yeah, once again our next actual stop is Broadmeadows, and we're finally back in the Melbourne suburbs. Okay, they haven't made the announcement yet, but I'm pretty sure that this siding here is the Broadmeadows siding. So I'm just going to start filming now for the arrival into Broadmeadows. Never mind, that's not Broadmeadows. I knew that Coolaroo was going to be there, but I thought I might have missed Coolaroo. So Broadmeadows should be the next station, so I might as well keep filming anyway, so enjoy this footage arriving into Broadmeadows on a standard gauge VLocity. Also, by the way, after we depart Broadmeadows, I'm going to give my final thoughts and my ratings and all of that sort of stuff. But looks like we are about to arrive into Broadmeadows. There's the Siemens there being stored, and there is an Alstom Comminge, double Alstom Comminge, another Siemens, obviously doubled, and that's what's being stored currently. Broadmeadows now arriving at Broadmeadows. Unfortunately can't see Broadmeadows platform 3, which is where we're pulling up. And can't see the platform that we're on, but there's Broadmeadows Station, right there. Now Broadmeadows. Okay, now departing Broadmeadows platform 3. There is actually a Night Australia Party ad up there. Kind of funny. But as we said, by Broadmeadows Station. And now I think, before we get to Southern Cross, is a perfect time to discuss my thoughts on the Northeast's brand new standard gauge velocities. So I think the experience was actually really good. The seats are quite nice. It's a bit of a mix of, on the N class, the old economy and the old first class. And the way that they mixed them together is quite well, and they've also added other upgrades like the USB charging. The seat is also quite comfy, and there's also, since you can't check luggage, there is also lots of luggage racks and spaces to put your luggage. So yeah, that's really good. I'm really happy with that. It looks like we might be about to turn away from the Metropolitan line to go around the standard gauge way through Dynon and everything. Looks like that might be about to happen, so yeah. Anyway, sad that I didn't get to try out the buffet, whatever. Hopefully next time I come up to Wodonga on the train, hopefully the buffet will be open and ready to go. Legroom is decent. I'm not the tallest person in the world, but I can stretch my legs all the way out. I didn't need to use the toilet, so I can't give my opinion on that, but I'm pretty sure it's just the same as a regular VLocity toilet. So yeah, pretty good, and I'm excited to hopefully see these sorts of velocities expand out onto other long distance services, because that's what they're designed for. It's just that they had the standard gauge ones ready first before they had any broad gauge ones ready. So they've just been running up to Albury since the 30th of December. I should probably mention, I mean I don't have to mention it, now is the 12th of January 2022. Is why I'm filming this, just for future reference. We're now on the standard gauge only line. We've turned off from the Craigieburn line. Yeah. So yeah, it's a good experience, and I think these trains are definitely worthy of taking over the older locomotive haul trains, because they're definitely more comfortable, more modern. Like the poster says at all of the Albury line stations. yeah, they're definitely more modern than what was on the line before, and I'm hoping now that there's newer stock there won't be as many faults with the train, meaning less cancellations than what there was before on this line. So far they've been running every weekday since the 30th, and not once have I seen one of these services cancelled. They've been running the 12:05 from Southern Cross to Albury, and then the 5:20 PM from Albury to Southern Cross. So I mean, if they haven't already taken over the entire Albury line yet, those are the 2 times that you are able to catch these trains. So maybe if you're in Melbourne and you're free at about midday and you're willing to go for maybe just a bit of a fun few hours out to Seymour, then you can probably spend, because you can use your Mikey out to Seymour. So if you just want to experience these trains, you can just hop on this train to Seymour. Then at Seymour you can get off and just hop on a regular train back. But yeah, these trains are really good, and I think that there will be a great improvement to the Albury line when they fully take over, hopefully somewhat soon. So yeah, thank you for watching Sea Gonzels. This isn't the end of the video, because I'll be filming the arrival into Southern Cross. But I don't know how much talking I'll do throughout that clip. So in case I don't do any talking throughout that clip, thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. If you did, like the video and subscribe and share, because I really enjoyed making this video and reviewing the new train. So yeah, thank you for watching, and bye for now. The next clip will be the arrival into Southern Cross. Okay, I think we just passed Sunshine, which means these might be the Tottenham yards, but I have a feeling I might have already missed the Commenters, which is sad, but I'm not sure I would have seen much anyway, because obviously it is quite dark, and there's also a bunch of containers in the way as well, which is fun. Maybe I haven't, but I might if there's still a bunch of containers in the way. There's a bunch of other things in the way. I don't know if the scrapped commenters are... I don't think I can see them, so maybe not, but I don't really have any idea where we are right now. Oh no, I think I see them. Yeah, there they are. There's still a bunch of containers in the way though, but right there, if these containers decide to stop, you will be able to see the Tottenham commenters. Tottenham scrapped commenters just over there. Unfortunately, you can't see them because there's a really long container train in the way. I don't think it's moving. It's stationary, but we've finally reached the locomotives. A bunch of NR classes, so hopefully they're over there somewhere. Unfortunately, that train was in the way of the scrapped Tottenham commenters, but yep, they were back there. Okay, we are now entering the Bunbury Street Tunnel. There probably won't be much to see down here, simply because, you know, it's a tunnel. Hopefully when we come out we'll get a great view over the Melbourne River. So yeah, for the next tiny little bit until we get out of the tunnel. It might just include a lot of just, you know, reflection. And also apparently a lot of graffiti too. Okay, we're out of the tunnel now. And unfortunately, you can't really see it that well, but that is the Melbourne River right there. And over there, looks like a couple of cruise ships. Maybe not. Yeah, I think they are cruise ships. But I didn't think cruise ships were stationed there. Which is interesting. Maybe they're not cruise ships after all, I don't know. Can't really tell when all you see is the lights. It looks like a cruise ship. But it might not be. Okay, we are now steering. Okay, I think those are actually cranes, not cruise ships. I was thinking, why would they have cruise ships in a container yard, but that makes sense. But yeah, now we're going through Dynon. Hopefully we might be able to see some of the old standard gauge M classes, because this is where they are stored. So, might see some of those. However, if we do see any, we might not notice it due to the fact that it's dark. Yeah, those things over there are definitely cranes. It's just that from the angle that I was on, they looked all stacked together like they were hotel light rooms. And the only thing that could be would be a cruise ship, but then you change angles and then, yeah. So yep, coming around this corner here. Locomotives over there. A couple of NR classes and an AN as well I saw. What else is there here? Who knows? Nothing else interesting so far. But yeah, after this we go over the North Melbourne Flyover and then we'll be at Southern Cross. So once again, thank you for watching this video. Actually the N-class rolling stock that is used on the Albury line usually before these velocities came to take over. Currently there is a shed in the way. I'm sorry about that, but behind the shed is all the standard gauge N-class rolling stock that is usually used on this service, but not today. Well, actually I think there's one out going to Albury right now, but all the rest will be here. Oh look, BL29, Pacific National Locomotive, and I can see some N classes over there. They're probably the locomotives that are used to take the usual Albury services, so that's cool to see, the usual trains that take this service. Very soon they'll be replaced all by these. brand new trains, which, as I said before, are really good and are definitely worthy of taking over from the N classes. Okay, we've now basically passed through Dynon, and I think we're about to go onto the North Melbourne flyover, which will take us into Southern Cross. Also, you can kind of see there the Melbourne Star, sadly forced to close down due to COVID. There's also a Hoyts over there, there's an ice skating rink, there's a Costco. Yeah. Over the North Melbourne flyover. You can see just a bunch of signals over there. And basically from here it's just basically into Southern Cross, so once again, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like, share and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video, and I'll end the video when we get into Southern Cross. Bye for now. So yeah, we're basically back at Southern Cross.